You betcha. I got 1 o'clock on the nose, so we can start. Welcome to the master, you guys. Denny Grimes here, and it is the 14th of March already. And what we practice here is a what we call question-based listening enhanced conversations, and we can talk about whatever you want. Some of you guys already know I've got a book coming out here in about maybe 90 days, fingers crossed, and I talk about a lot of the concepts that I believe 40 years have taught me, including the Better Way Listening Agreement. And we have a new link here. Thank you to the twins. There's a lot of slides, a lot of conversations, bull ride conversations when you make outbound calls. Some other slides that we use a lot here on my mastery. If you want them, I'll send them to you. So you'll go to this QR code. I think Louise has put the URL in the chat. So you can go there and sign up. You have to register. That gives us a mailing list, and new stuff that comes along, we'll just email it to you and you can add it to your repertoire. We want you to learn, we want you to perform, and we want you to grow. So Louise, we have one so far, and that was Maria. I want to talk about professional compensation conversations. So why don't you tell the new people here how you want to roll today?
Sure. Hey, everyone, come join us, participate by dropping your scenario in the chat. And what that looks like is 3 pieces. Part 1, you would have identify who you as an agent are speaking with, a buyer or a seller, what kind of seller, FSBO, expired, etc. Identify the objection, a specific objection, or if you don't have one in mind, just say potluck, and then identify the level of difficulty, easy, medium, or hard. Maria's the first one up. She is with an expired who wants to lower their commission, and it's going to be a hard objection.
So Maria, hang on just 1 second. We're going to do that in a second. I want to share something really. I have one point I want to get you across. My little thought of the day. Gary Keller says, and I certainly agree, that we should be the local economist of choice. And by doing that, people should rely on what we have to say. And I don't want you to get your information from the newspaper or the TV or even online sources, because I want you to get it right from the data. And it's really pretty simple. I'm not a mathematician and I'm not like a numbers guy. However, I have a presentation coming up, a big one. I do one every year, kind of the state of the market. And this is one of the slides. And I want to show you how easy this can be. I just went to ChatGPT and I asked it, and I'm trying to learn more about ChatGPT. What are the characteristics of a buyer's market? And if you can see my screen behind me, maybe you want to pin me so you can see the screen. That's what it came up with. And that's not rocket science, but when I'm talking in front of 1,300 people, I'm going to show evidence. Those are the areas you want to kind of keep an eye on. And how is your area doing? How is your market doing relative to those? And so here in Southwest Florida, and we got Louise, she's in Southeast Florida, so to speak. Our inventory is up. That's one of the signs, is your inventory is growing, your market is changing. And we're up 25% year over year. And we're actually up almost 200% from the peak of the market, which was 2021. So we've grown quite a bit. Next, our prices have just started coming down. They're only down a little bit. And so that is the trend. When your inventory grows, it's going to put downward pressure on your prices. I want you to know that about your market so you can talk to buyers and sellers. Now, here's the thing that I also want you to know is that as we transition in our market, in the Florida market in general, from a seller's market to a buyer's market, that is not a bad thing. And I'll tell you why. Why do we always measure how positive the market is by rising prices? Do you think the buyers have enjoyed the market since COVID at 2020 to maybe 2022, 23? We haven't seen a falling market in this area of Florida for at least 13 years. So why is it a good thing? And I'm asking you guys, why is it a good thing for the market to correct?
From buyer standpoint, more affordable, and from agent standpoint, you can apply your skills versus just everything selling off the shelf.
All right, that's good. What else?
It attracts more genuine buyers and sellers, actually. So the people that you would probably end up working would be more realistic.
Okay, anybody else? One more. These are all good answers.
Could you please repeat the question again? Let's see what
Yeah,
I
I
take
mean,
of that.
I'm gonna stand in front of all these people and I'm gonna say the theme of my presentation is the party's over in Florida. The seller's market is over. It's been over since 2023, but no one's paid attention to it yet. However, when people hear that the prices are falling, they assume that's negative and prices going up is a positive. Now, let me ask you, we buy gas. Is rising gas prices positive or negative? We buy eggs. Oh my gosh, right? We can't afford eggs anymore. Prices going up, good or bad. So here's my point, you guys. We as the professional need to understand this at a higher level. I'm going to ask you one riddle and see if you can get this right. There's no wrong answer. I just want to know. If a property or an area, if all the houses did was go up in value and they rose so high that no one could afford to buy it, what would it be worth?
0.
There you
It
go.
will be worthless, okay, predicated on the law of supply and demand, you know, with fewer or less inventory. Arguably, you will agree with me that the property will sit on the market and be worthless, and buyers will lack the capacity or ability
go.
to purchase.
William, you're right. How would you like to live in the Mona Lisa? No one could afford to buy it. So you couldn't sell it. So people, I'm going to tell people want to get weepy about the market correcting. No, when your market corrects, you have more demand. So it's not a bad thing. And just really fast, homes are taking 20% longer to sell. And COVID, they were selling 100%. Now they're selling at about 96% of original asking price. So I wanted to just share some of that stuff with you. And I want you to kind of, if you want to have a conversation sometime about it, we can have a conversation. I can help you get going so you can be the local economist of choice. So thank you for indulging me, Louise. Now we're ready to go to Maria. Maria.
Yes.
All right. Are you the agent or are you the, what is it?
Yes, it's expired. Do you want to be the agent or do you want to hear me first?
Well, if you want to practice it, which way you want to go? You can, I'll be the expired, and it's a fee issue, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're at the table. Go.
So, Denny, are you ready to move forward with me today?
I am not.
How come?
I don't like your fee structure is way out of line.
And what would you like it to be?
I would like it to be 2%.
And if I lower the level of my
How would that
services,
benefit you?
how do you think that's going to benefit you?
Wait. Let's follow the model, right?
Other than the fee, is there anything else that stops you from moving forward with me today, Denny?
That objection.
No, nope. I mean, the fee is not competitive. That's not what you're not competitive. The other agent wasn't charging me that much, so I want to pay 2%.
And so you mentioned other agent. How hard was it for you to get them down to 2%?
Well, that was the one that I'm expired. That was my previous agent.
And how much was he charging?
He was charging 2%.
And how hard was it for you to get him to 2%?
He came in at 2%.
Okay. And I hope you can appreciate, Denny, that I do have a minimum standard that I do charge, and I am firm on that. And I hope you can understand that I will be as firm with your money when the buyer and the buyer agent tries to negotiate you down.
All right. So there's a minute 15. So you're putting the pieces together better every time. One of the questions that would come up in that scenario for me, if someone hires an agent at any fee, and listen, I know people get like freaky when they talk specific commissions, but there is no set fee. We're using numbers as examples only. One of the first questions that comes to my mind, everyone, is like, all right, you hired someone at X fee, which is maybe lower than some, How did that work out? You're talking to an expired listing. That's like going for someone to get hair transplant and nothing works, but he was a discount. The doctor was a discount on hair transplant. So do you follow me on that? By the way, the model, and I'm looking for it, Louise, I have it here somewhere, but the model is isolate, clarify. When I said 2%, what did I mean by that?
I
What would
didn't
be a-
ask, I
what would
didn't
be a
ask you if
question,
it was the
guys?
total.
Well, okay, so what I use this example all the time. That's like saying, hey, you get a taxi cab. Hey, I want to go to Boston. That doesn't help them, right? Where in Boston? I want to pay 2%. Is that the total fee? Is that like for buyer and seller, or is that just for seller, etc.? Remember,
Clarification, get clarification.
yes, make sure you understand, because chances are, if you attempt to handle an objection without fully understanding, it may not land well. Do you want to now reverse it? No, we can let somebody else do it. And so, who wants to handle that objection? Probably one you'll get. By the way, one of the advantages of the market Louise and I are in is we're going to get fewer sellers wanting to negotiate our fee. You know why? Because we're in a buyer's market. And when listings are easier to get, they're harder to sell. And if you get yourself into a little tractor, you got into the ER, and you probably need to have them sew your arm back on, you're not going to negotiate fee. You want to sew them back on. So let's go at it again. Who wants to do it? Or I'll do it, doesn't matter.
I'll do it.
Who is that?
I'll do it. Jenica.
All right.
Sorry, my dog's going crazy. Okay, Denny, so other than fee, is there anything else stopping you from putting me to work?
No, I kind of like your groove. We're good.
Okay, Denny, so what fee is it that you would comfortable with? I'm just
All right, 2%.
2%. And what is it about the 2% that's important to you?
Can we pause?
Yeah.
Get clarification, Jenica. What is the 2%?
Oh, sorry, yes. So is that 2% for my fee, or you're saying 2% in total?
Right. Just to go back and for this, make a note. When someone's wanting to save money, asking what it'll do for them is kind of like, why do you want to spend less for gas? So always think there's probably a better question. Clarifying is the way to go. So, well, I want to spend 2% total. However you want to split that up, I'm okay with.
Denny, can I chime in 1 second? So when you say 2%, you mean to say that you want to net the most amount of money from the sale of the home? Is that right?
Well, hang on, and we'll come back to you in just a second, okay? That's another track. Let's keep Jenica on this track, and then we'll go right back to you.
Okay, so you said 2% total. Okay, so I know you said not to ask, but how do you think that me charging just 1% for my services will benefit you, Denny?
Well, I've got $1 million house. How much is that one? That's $10,000, and it sells pretty fast, pretty good. Is that 1%? There's agents out there that work for $10,000.
There may be, have you interviewed or talked to any other agents that said they would do it for 1% on the listing side?
Yeah, my last agent, I was on the market, for 6 months, and it didn't sell, but they charged 2%, 1% for them, and 1% for the buyer's agent.
Got it. So you hired them for 1% on either side, and then your home didn't sell. So how did that in the end work out for you?
Well, I don't think it didn't work out. We didn't sell, and I don't think it had anything to do with the commission. It was, the market. We had holidays, had election, we had the market's not really great right now, so I'm ready to get back at it.
And I was gonna ask something. Is it more important for you what an agent charges or what you net from the sale, Denny?
Now it's going down your road, right? Well, I mean, I guess aren't they related?
Well, like there's other points in the contract or in the process where, we will be negotiating, more than just, or I don't say more, where we'll be negotiating where we have a chance to save you money, during repair requests, when offers come in, things like that. So that would help your net if we could negotiate more at that time.
So are we good? 2%? Ready to go?
No,
Ready to
I'm ready
sign?
for feedback.
All right. Said Jay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good job. Good job, Denny. I know you took it right back to where Jay was, which was appropriate. Take it from there, Jay.
So Denny, what he's saying is your previous agent was charging 2%. How did that go? Did they sell the home?
Wait a minute. Okay, so I understand that's a question, but is that, this is Mastery, is that a little bit insulting?
Okay.
So no, I get it, but there's a better way to ask it. The better way, this is one of the ways, how did that work for you?
How did that work for you, Denny?
Well, it didn't work good. I'm still here for sale and but I guess it was the wrong time, holidays, election, and Super Bowl.
Okay, I mean, I get that, Danny. Maybe it was not a good time. So what I hear you say is, you want to sell the home and net the most amount of money from the sale proceed, right?
Well, wouldn't everybody?
That's true. Again, but I just want to kind of lay it out there that there is a direct correlation between the commission you pay and the caliber of the agent you hire.
Well, did you make a statement there?
I did.
Now he's going down a very interesting road. Sometimes, okay, so how could you make that point with a question instead of a statement?
I mean, do you think there's a correlation between the fee you pay and the agent you hire to get the job done?
Okay, now that is a much better way of going there. Now, let's take it one level more. Many times you want to take the seller or the buyer out of the current situation and you want to use an analogy. How could you bring something else into it? And there's one thing you can always bring into it. Anyone want to take a wild guess what that is?
I mean, I can ask a question like, do the best doctors or attorneys charge the lowest fees?
Okay, that would be one. So if you needed medical attention, would you go to the lowest, the doctor that charged the least amount, or would you go to the best? Or how about this one? What do you do for a living, Jay?
I'm a realtor, yeah.
I'm reversing it. Well, why don't you sell it yourself then? No, I'm role playing with you now.
I'm a software engineer, yeah. I work in the Valley, Silicon Valley out here.
You work in the what?
Silicon Valley, I'm a software engineer.
Oh, I see. And how long have you been doing that?
10 years.
So you're experienced, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what you make, are there other companies that make what you make?
Yeah, there's a bunch of it, yes.
Are you the cheapest?
No.
Now, if I was your best golf buddy's best friend and I wanted to buy whatever you make, would you recommend I buy the cheapest or buy the best?
Well, it depends what you're looking for, but cheapest may not be the best option.
Well, I'm talking about big ticket things. I'm thinking about buying, buying 5,000 computers for my new office I'm building for my employees. It's a big ticket item. Should I just look at the bottom line, or should I look at the value and what the value of the whole package? So what I'm doing, you guys, here's what I want you to be able to do. Transition to a story, an analogy that they will make they will make your case. And then you just bring it back around. Well, do you think then, if it's important that you don't go to the cheapest for like widgets that you make, that hiring a doctor or hiring a real estate agent, cheapest may not be best? Would you like me to explain? Now, here's what I want you to do next. Like, Louise, does somebody have something else in the chat? Because I would like to be able to have someone demonstrate. Okay, just 1 second. I'd like to have somebody demonstrate how we're free.
hey, Mr. Seller, we do not pay anything unless and until I get your offer to your liking, and which could net you the most money.
Well, now you're making promises you can't back up necessarily.
Denny, were you aware that there are multiple points of negotiation between the beginning of a contract and the closing table?
But ask me the question, give me the hook. So
How would you like to pay zero for my services?
so now you got a seller, I may be being ridiculous at 2%, 1%, 1%, right? But you've got sellers out there that are concerned about, the lowest fee. You say, well, if I were the lowest fee, would you hire me? What if I were free? See, what you want to do is, that's why I have on my logo. I don't know if you noticed it yet, but this is not necessarily the final cover, but I have a chess piece. I'll get it back here in a second. Here we go.
Hey, Denny, how about that? Quick. Would you fly with the airline which would say, "Come fly with us. Our pilots are the lowest and the cheapest in the industry"?
Well, that's the type of thing we're talking about. So I want you to be able to articulate. So going back to you, Louise, you were playing. So you have to get me intrigued by saying, okay, well, if you want the lowest fee, how about if I was free? And now take it from there. I'll say, what do you mean free?
Well, Denny, are you aware of the multiple points of negotiation between the beginning of a contract and the closing table?
Well, I never really thought about it like that.
Okay. Well, Denny, would you be surprised if I told you there were multiple sellers for your home?
Multiple sellers.
I'm sorry, multiple buyers for your home.
Okay.
So we sell it once to the buyer. They come in, and then when they're financing, they get a loan. The bank is another buyer we have to sell it to because they have to perform their due diligence to make sure that the money they're loaning is sufficient for the property. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. And then, between those 2 points, there's an inspection. And at any of those locations, at any of those points, there are negotiation opportunities. Opportunities
So-
isn't the right word.
So
Points of negotiation.
you're using 1,000-foot view, but you're not putting it in the turkey slicer and slicing it. So
Is it
Or-
possible, Denny, that when an inspector comes in and presents a report to a buyer, that the buyer is going to ask for a reduction?
yeah, but I want you guys to learn it from the beginning. What's the first, if someone's looking, particularly if they're looking at going alone, one way that we're free, what's the first decision that potential seller has to make?
Is
Purchase
it-
price.
With a price.
Of what?
Purchase
Price. They have to pick a price. Now, one of two things will happen. I know there's three outcomes, right? But there's one of two things will happen. And you've got to walk them through that. So I'll just go back to you, Louise, and I'll just reverse the roles. So Louise, how are you going to determine what price to put on your home when you launch it? I want when you put it on the market.
I'm going to defer to you. What do you recommend I list the house for, Denny?
Well, you're not using me, you're selling it on your own.
Oh, this is a for sale by owner situation. Well, I need to get X dollars out of it because we have 3 bird baths in the back, and they're
Wow.
golden bird baths.
I have two. I mean, you have to get another one now. So, all right. So now when a seller puts their property on the market, one of two things will happen. What are the two outcomes?
What
Sell
if-
or not sell?
Kind of, or what if they have no activity? Are they not faced with another decision? Or what if they have a ton of activity and multiple offers? Aren't they faced with a decision? So is it possible on either one of those options, if a seller's by themselves, not used to handling that, is it possible that they miss when they have multiple offers come in, that they might have put it on the market 1% lower than they should have, or they get no activity over here and now they have to reposition it and they might reposition it 1% lower. So, well, Louise was demonstrating the home inspection, yes, but that's like the third step in the process. So the next step is, the first step is the initial positioning or pricing. The next is going to be negotiating. Is it possible that a seller like you, that you're on your own and you got 15 other things going on, you're negotiating a contract with the agent who's representing the buyer, the enemy? Is it possible that maybe that you don't negotiate, maybe you miss 1% versus you had someone representing you, somebody who was a professional negotiator like me? So we just cut 2% off, and then you go into the home inspection, and then you go into the appraisal issue. It's so easy to knock 3% off or whatever the number is. That's the conversation I want you to be able to sit up straight, your shoulders back, and be confident that you can deliver your service free rather to them doing it. I'm building my man cave, and they're doing the epoxy floor. Beautiful, it's metallic. But you know what? Painting, anyone can paint. I watched them. They took a sander and sanded it, and then they put some stuff on the floor, like a pre-coat, and then they poured a bucket of stuff, and they moved the stuff around like peanut butter. What's so hard about that? You get it, you guys? There is a skill in what we do. Could I go do that? Yes. What would it look like? It would look like I would be cutting my own hair. So, Louise, who's next?
Next up is Debbie. Debbie is speaking with a for sale by owner on the phone with a surprise objection that's a medium level of difficulty.
So my question is, why would we be handling an objection on the phone? I mean, sometimes you have to, because you're not in the same state. So give me an objection you would handle on the phone.
Well, maybe she's just trying to close for the appointment. I don't know. When she unmutes, we'll hear. Let me unmute her. You're muted, Debbie.
Al Baxter.
Debbie, you're still muted.
Okay, there we
There
go.
you go.
All right. So what was the question?
Is
Yeah, but
it a,
what objection are you handling on the phone, and why are you handling an objection on the phone?
Well, I'm just trying to get the appointment. Okay.
Okay.
So maybe the objection is bring me a buyer.
All right. So you want me to be a buy owner or expired?
For sale by owner.
Okay. Well, you might as well start from the beginning. Let's hear your bull ride. Ring, ring. Hello.
Hello, this is Debbie Teeter. I'm calling for the owner of 123 Maple Street.
It's me. Are you? You must be an agent.
Yes, I am. I am another realtor calling you. And I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls from realtors. Am I lucky number 10?
What can I do for you?
Well, you've got a beautiful home here. I was just curious, where are you moving to?
I'm not really sure that matters. How can I help you?
Okay. Well, I try not to sound like all the other realtors who are calling you, but if for whatever reason you were not able to sell the home on your own, how long might you wait before you would interview an agent?
Maybe a year.
A year. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, why a year? That sounds like a very long time.
I'm in no hurry.
You're in no hurry. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to guess that commission is the main reason that you've decided to sell it on your own. Is that correct?
Well, okay. So we'll pause right now. So, I mean, that could be, but you're always better asking.
Okay.
I can tell you if you say that, then, well, no, no, not really. I just, I like the thrill of the kill. I sold a house 35 years ago. I thought I'd try it again. Whatever.
Okay.
Let's go back really fast. I have these 5 bull ride conversations. If you want them with the other slides,
Yeah.
just go to this QR code. It's actually, Louise put it in the chat. You've got to be able to, if you don't want to sound like every other agent, I pulled them from the YouTube. There's a guy out there. There's a lot of teaching on the for sale by owners. These have been tried and true, tried and tested. that 80% of the time, 85% of the time, you will get 30 seconds before they hang up.
Right. I get it.
So now let me let you handle the objection. I won't be so hard on you. Well, listen, I'm selling it on my own. If you have a buyer, I'm happy to have you come by. In fact, I have an open house tomorrow, Saturday, from 3 to 4. So if you'd like to come by.
Okay, so bring you a buyer. Well, I can really appreciate that, but I don't have any buyers in particular that I'm working with right now for your property. But if I could ensure you, that you would get the results that you're looking for and get your property sold and still net you the money you were looking for, even after my commissions are paid and everything, would you be open to talking to me about that?
Okay, I'll stop there. Let's give her some feedback on that. Now, again, I want her to, this is a good spot because I think she probably, I was trying to be enrolled. What feedback would you have for Debbie to help her improve on the response of, do you have a buyer?
There
I mean,
is a long period of talk before engaging the for sale by owner. So I would look for places to break it and ask a question.
That's on point. Yeah. I would just ask, a buyer, of course, what kind of buyer do you look like, are you interested in? Exactly. Rather than, because it sounded very generic, and I'm sure a lot of the realtors use the same pretty much script.
I mean, the same thing. This question was too long-worded. I would maybe cut it short and compliment that. And I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to sell your home yourself. Let me see how we can net you the most amount of money. So, frankly, what's more important to you, netting the most amount of money from sale or selling yourself?
So, right, Debbie, I think Matt has a good one that I've learned from him. It's like, well, I wish I did. That'd be better for both of us. That sounds better than I don't have a buyer. I've never had a buyer. Oh, by the way, why don't you hire me?
Or I work with a lot of buyers in the area.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
work with a lot of buyers. I just don't have a specific buyer for your property.
The best thing to do when someone like that asks you that question is say, well, maybe, I don't know, it'd be good for both of us.
Great if I did. Yeah.
Hang on, and then move on, because if you dwell on the buyer, they're going to be seeing you as somebody who wants to bring them a buyer. That's what they want. So
Right.
I wouldn't spend much time there. Just answer it. Well, that'd be cool if we did. By the way, when you sell, where you're going, or just take control of the conversation and go.
Okay, so no, I don't have a buyer right now, but when you sell, where are you planning on moving to?
But I don't want you to say no.
No.
But
No.
no, negative
Okay.
part.
What's that?
I like Matt's answer the best. I go, I wish I did. It'd be good for both of us, and just go right on to it. Then you see, the word no.
Yeah, I know. No's a negative. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I did. I really do wish I did. But when you do move, where are you planning
There
on
you go.
moving to?
Much better, much better.
Yeah. Where are you planning on going to?
I'm going to the next person.
Oh, okay.
All right, Debbie. Who's next?
Okay.
Denny, may I share?
Tanner.
I've been using something that's been very helpful. If you don't have it, you could just say, I have people call me for homes all the time. You don't have to say I don't have. That's something I use, and it's been very, kind of like useful to me.
What do you say?
I say, they ask me, do you have a buyer? Well, I have people call me for homes all the time. And then I would ask the next question, just like a transition.
Yeah, I think that, but here's my point. I just didn't like the no.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you don't want to put in a negative. Yeah.
So Denny, we're at the table. I had a meeting with the seller. It was expired now, changing the status. So if you could be the agent and I'll be the seller, just give you an objection that I had, if that's okay with you.
Okay. But all right, ready to move forward, Tanner?
Well, Denny, not quite, to tell the truth.
Oh,
Hello?
I'm sitting with you. I'm looking at you like you got two heads.
Okay, well, There is something that's been bugging me, Danny. Now, I'm just curious too. So how much do you anticipate to invest to market my home?
Okay, so is that your only concern? Is that your only question?
Yeah, as of now, yeah.
So, all right, so I can gain some clarity. Are you picking your agent based on how much money they spend or how much money they put in your pocket?
It's a good question, but I'm just curious though. Like, what do you? I'm sure you're a businessman. You would know how much do you are you going to spend for the marketing and all that to market my home? And
So now this is what I would answer it because I have a team. We'll work on another answer for you. Well, to run my operation to sell the homes we sell, it's about 50,000 a month. Does that sound like adequate number for you?
I appreciate, but like, how much would be exactly for my house? Danny, just off the script, I'm just acting like the person that I met. Okay.
Okay, well, all right, here's my question. I have to understand what number how are you going to use information? So if I say I invest $100 and somebody says $200, is that the criteria you're going to use to pick your agent?
Well, here's the thing, it was listed previously with another agent, and now obviously the guy didn't do a good job. And I did the showings, and now you guys, I invited several agents, and everybody's talking about this commission. And I'm just curious, like, if the marketing would cost just a few $1,000s, even $1,000, why would you guys charge me so much? Why do I have to pay and still have to do the work myself?
So let me, you mind if I'm working on not saying, may I ask you a question as often? Well, but I'm going to say it now. I'm just a little curious. Have you ever had, or anyone you know, ever had surgery performed?
Oh yeah, I had myself. Yeah.
What kind of surgery was that? I'm not trying to be personal. What kind?
Leg muscle surgery.
Okay. Were you at all interested in what the instruments cost the surgeon to perform your surgery?
No, I don't think so.
What was your concern?
Well, just they do a good job. And
Surgery.
properly.
Well, that is exactly the technique I was talking to you about earlier. Take them off the conversation and draw a parallel with something else. Because so did you interview your surgeons and ask them, well, how much are you spending for a scalpel?
That's okay. No, I did not.
I already had him at, see what, and there's an old saying out there. Who knows a saying? It's like, how does it go? It's like, the cost of the scalpel costs $50. Knowing where to cut costs 5,000.
Yeah.
Y'all heard something like that, right?
Yeah.
So if someone's focused on that, I say, listen, I may not be the agent for you. However, I'm just going to give you some friendly advice. You're probably not asking the right question. Your home is a pretty big investment. So I would look at how good they are at handling the scalpel, not what the scalpel costs. Does that make sense? How did I do?
That was great, Danny. I wish, I put it that way.
Yeah, give me a layup, man. Come on, get tough on me. Who's next, Louise?
Or Danny, just I was thinking out loud on the question of value. Is it like if you can say somebody like if you get a car, let's say in $20,000, is that a good deal? So it depends, right? So if you're getting a 1960s clunker for 20,000 versus if you're getting a BMW or Porsche for $20,000, take your pick.
Well, when you have that ability, I mean, there's a bazillion analogies you can make, but when you have that ability to kind of on the fly come up with that. Now, one caution though is make sure it makes sense. Make sure you understand it because you can get tangled sometimes going down a road and you get it to a dead end. That's why I'm thinking of surgery. Notice how I asked him. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had surgery? Would have been one question. I didn't ask that because what if he said no? Well, okay, well, never mind. I said, or anyone you know. So make sure there's an answer coming back to you that you can work with. But that's a great, I mean, cars, like your first question was awesome. You buy a car for 20 grand, is that a good value? Who knows? I don't know. It has to be compared to something, right? Louise, is there anybody else in the chat?
Yeah, Christina's next. She's working with the FISBO and it's a potluck medium level of difficulty.
I've been doing a lot of talk. Why don't you handle it?
Sure. Okay, Christine.
Hi, ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, I see you have your home for sale on Zillow.
Yes, I do.
Great. How much are you interviewing realtors? I'm Christine with Keller Williams in the area.
Oh, if you have it, you're welcome to bring a buyer, but we don't need to list our house.
Okay. Why? Well, I'd love to bring a buyer. I have people calling me all the time. Why? Any particular reason you do not want to list the house?
Well, if you have a buyer and you can bring a buyer, or if another agent can bring a buyer, I don't feel like I need to hire an agent to list it.
Okay. Well, like I said, I have people calling me looking for different properties and things like that. What's the significance of having a buyer today?
I'm not sure why you're asking. Obviously, we would like a buyer sooner versus later.
Right. Well, if I'm kind of lost here.
I know.
I don't know why.
Okay. That's what practice is all about.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, okay, then.
Okay, so what's important? Go ahead.
No, hang on. So I'll let Louise give you some feedback and others can speak up too. Let me ask you, let's go back to the bull ride. If you're going to make an outbound call, that's your audition to be in a major Hollywood movie. And the length of your audition may only be 7 or 8 seconds. Would you practice your lines?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how practiced are you on your first 8 seconds? We call it the bull ride. And again, I encourage you to get, I've got 5 different conversations here, and there's a bazillion the words are not as important as the ingredients in the words, like a pattern interrupt, sound different, be confident, be concise. You had better do it pronto. Because you kind of got started, then you got a little bit off track. You really didn't know what to ask. So I'm just coaching you a little bit. If I were your one-on-one coach, Christine, do you have a conversation that you're comfortable with in front of you?
It's all kind of pieces. So
Right. So if you had, they went to
Not
hire
really.
you to go sing the Star Spangled Banner for the Super Bowl, and it's going to be like in an hour, would you be prepared to do it?
no.
You would prepare for it though, right? That's
Right,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. You're on
Right.
here. This is the coaching for everyone. You've got to win the bull ride if you want an opportunity to win the other 30 seconds. Now, some will take it. Some will, your timing is just perfect. That'll happen, but it won't happen often enough. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
So you can practice all you want. Find somebody here, get in the chat. Find somebody who wants to spend 15 or 20 minutes a day. Practice. You can practice in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
So thanks for being on, and we can do some more. Who's
Okay.
next, Louise?
We don't have anyone next. Do we want to go around and just hear bull rides? Like
After
do a-
showing your house, can we go to Dollar Tree?
Well, if you've got a bull ride practice, yeah, because some people here may want to write some. So if you have one that you'd like us to give you, we're going to score you as a diver, 10 or 9.7 or 1.7.
I'll start. I have a bull ride for expireds.
All right, let's hear it.
And this is
You guys
just
can-
the bull ride.
You guys can put it in the chat. Her score, 10 is a 10, and nothing less than a 7. Okay, go.
Hello, Denny. This is Louise Weiss with Keller Williams Realty. Thank you so much for taking my call. The reason I'm calling is I see your home recently came off of the market. Is that correct?
Yes,
That's my bull ride.
that's a bull ride. All right. 7 to 10. Oh, look at Janet. She's so sweet all the
Damn
time.
it.
Put it in the chat. Oh, 10. Look at that,
And
man.
I practice that though. Like that's,
You
Now-
sound like you could tell.
Yes, you do sound like you practice it. That's what we're talking about. All right, 10. I don't think I can get a 10. All
I
right,
need to
who's next?
practice the next step, which is why I'm here. So who else has a bull ride that they've practiced? I know Maria does because we've heard it and she does it really well. And Paulina.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Ring, ring. Hello?
Hi, this is Fan with Keller Williams Southwest. You don't mind me asking you, would you like to get your property sold this year?
That's yeah.
Okay.
I stole it from he's not here.
That's okay. All right, that's Span. That was 8 seconds probably. Man, I got a nice folks here today. Al gave me the 10.
Come on, Maria and Tanner. I know you guys have bull rides. I've heard them.
I'm very like I use the same one for such a long time now, but I would say ring ring. I call ring ring, and
Hello.
hello ring ring.
Hello.
There you go. Okay. Hi, my name is Tanner. I'm a realtor. I was curious to know if the house on 123 Main Street was actually still for sale,
It is.
and then I would take it. Okay, great to know. And
Oh, we want to hear the second part. All right, so that's just the first couple. Hear the second part. Let's go. All right, ring, ring. Hello.
hi, my name is Tanner. I'm a realtor. I was curious to know if the house on 123 Main Street was actually still for sale.
It is.
Oh, great. I mean, I'm curious to know what are you looking for exactly?
I'm looking for my cat right now. All right, give him a score. I think he's practicing it, but I don't understand the question though.
So I actually had to be more, serious about it. So I would say, I can appreciate the update and what is the outcome you're looking for exactly? And then there would be, what I could ask you. What is the outcome you're looking for exactly, Danny?
I'm gonna get my house sold.
Thanks again. I appreciate that you sharing. And once you sell the house, where are you moving to?
Okay.
What are your plans?
The reason I'm hesitating is we talked about this, I think, in Recon this week, is that I like what Matt had to say because I was thinking the same thing. If you're going to start asking me where I'm going, why am I going, what's that going to do, and I don't know who you are, I'm sensing you've not earned that yet. Like how much I use the analogy. Listen, guys, you have to be pretty close to your girl or wife or whatever, and maybe never even ask the question. How much do you weigh? That's probably too personal. Probably get you in trouble.
Or then I'll ask you a different question then, you're right. Or you're right. So I would ask you, okay, Danny, I'm just a little bit confused. I see you were in the market for like 6 months. In the past 30 days, I know 9 homes went out the contract. What stopped yours from getting one of those buyers?
Now that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorites right there. Now you're using it. I've been trying to get people to use it. So you've been on the market for 60 days. Are you aware that 17 homes in your area have sold it? Are you at all curious why yours hasn't? I mean, I would dig that if I was selling my house, because most sellers or even expired, their perception is, do you think their previous listing agents telling them, oh, the market's really blowing and going, I just don't know what I'm doing? I don't think so. They have to blame something and it won't be them. I like that, Tanner.
And then whatever you say, I'll give you the options.
Danny, other than this property, so because that's a great one, that's a really good one. Can you give any other saying like that? If there's some hard resistance.
Resistance in what?
Hey, I'm not interested, or just I guess what I want to get is I want to generate more curiosity, because that's a great way to generate more curiosity. I would like to know any alternative to generate more curiosity like that.
You give me that, I'm not interested, whatever it is. So I asked you and you said, I'm not interested to sell, whatever it is, right? I asked you, are you still interested to sell?
No.
Oh, you're not interested anymore? I can appreciate the update. Well, I'm just curious though, what made you want it to sell in the first place when you had it listed?
It's none of your business.
Okay. I mean, ultimately, is selling and moving something that you're still you would looking to do in the future at some point?
In the future, but you know, I lost all my interest.
So, Louise, you were going to say something. What was it?
Yeah, the goal I think would be A, is it still available? And B, is it still your plan to get it sold, right?
I mean, if they're not really interested, there's no point to waste any more time. You just move on to the next one though. I'm not
Well,
gonna miss it.
but they had it on the market now, an expired listing. They had it on the market. Now they're not interested. Well, something happened. You
Are
know,
they really not interested, or is it a smokescreen?
I'm gonna try to channel Matt here. He says, well, he has this funny way of doing this. Well, in the off chance, I mean, that it just is a wild idea. You may think I'm crazy, but if somebody knocked on your door would give you your number, are you saying that you wouldn't take it? You know, he always has one of those. Well, if I run into Elvis and you wanted to buy your house, would you let him buy it?
Or maybe a question like, well, if you could get more for your house than you thought was worth it, at least would you consider?
That can work, but I think that if it sounds to me, and maybe because I'm on these calls all the time, it sounds a little bit like something what other people would say. If you can get more, well, I've been fishing here for 6 months and I haven't even caught a boot yet. So you say, what if I caught a big tuna? I don't find it believable, but you've got to find something that creates curiosity. And going back to the bull ride things here, I mean, you can see I don't know if you can see my screen behind me. I'll go through them if you want to take a picture of them, but if you register for the slides, you're going to get these. For example, I'll go down to number 1. Here's the number 1. Hi, Mary, this is Denny. Look, no, I'm sorry, I don't have this practice. Hi, Mary, this is Denny. Look, you're going to hate me. I'm a realtor. Do you want to hang up, or will you give me 30 seconds and tell you why I called? There's a lot of them like that. You know, you have 15 seconds, or do you want me to hang up on myself? Now, they're kind of common, so I'm not saying if you use these, you'll sound totally different. But the first step of being successful is at least getting this out. Now, then they're going to say, no, I'm not interested, or you can anticipate 4 or 5 normal objections. The next stage is be ready to handle those 4 or 5. And that'll cover 80% of the things you can prepare for.
And it's so amazing because if you do consistent, expired calls, you would understand the majority of the objections. So they're just like you already would know them. They're like 3 or 4 of them. You would know them. They're very generic, pretty much.
So we have a couple of minutes. Does anybody
Janet
have?
would like to present her bull ride. Her
All right,
30-second or less bull ride. Come on, Janet.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ring, ring. Hello.
I'm talking to Jen. Hi, Jen. I'm saying it the opposite. Hi, Jen. This is Janet with Keller Williams. I don't think we've ever spoken before. Do you want to hang up or can I tell you why I'm calling?
You
I
talk
think
to-
the words are good. The tempo is off, and I think that just comes with practice. And
Yeah,
for you.
And now you've got me convinced that, damn it, I'm going to put it on my freaking bathroom window.
Or just say it 5 times before you make the first call. Chant it.
Yeah.
Times right.
Because I call for self-owners a lot. So and obviously I'm more. Oh,
we get ready to wrap up. Who would like to try to give me an objection you might have to deal with this week, or you have to deal with, and let me handle it for you.
Danny, one more.
Stump me.
One more. I have tough one for you, Danny. Not too unreasonable. Okay, Danny. So in the past year, how many homes did you sell yourself?
So when you say myself, define that.
As an agent, just on your own, how many homes did you sell?
Okay, well, listed or sold 15.
15. And out of the homes that you sold, working for sellers, how many of those homes sold for like 100% or more?
Okay, so I'll answer that question, but I want you to, before I do, I want to ask you one first, fair?
Please.
Okay. Are you in the process of interviewing agents?
Yes, I am.
All right, so what is the normal, what is the average number of homes an agent sells in a year?
I mean, I don't know exactly, but everybody's giving me different numbers. Obviously, I cannot keep,
Well, right now, this is exactly what I do. Right now, I'm going to take, I know you're looking for an agent and I'm one of the ones you're interviewing, right? Evidently. But I'm going to step out. I don't want you to consider me to represent you right now. I want to see if I can help you first. May I?
Yeah, but you can't tell me like how many of the homes you sold for 100%.
I can, but I'm not even applying for the job right now because you're about ready to wreck your car. I want to help you. Is that okay?
Thank you. Well, that's fine.
So when you ask that question, so I'm just curious, what is a good number? What is a bad number?
You mean like, I mean, if somebody sells, like majority of the homes for 100%, that means they're a good agent. That's what I would.
That was the second question. I'm talking about the first question. The second question you're going to get hung on. The first question, what are you looking for with that number?
To see how much business you would do in a,
I got that. Let me put it in perspective. You ever heard of a store called Target?
Yes.
They probably sell a lot of handbags, like purses and this, that, and the other.
That's true.
Do they sell more than the Chanel store sells?
Obviously, yes. They would sell more handbags there.
So is there a difference between Target and Chanel?
Obviously, yeah.
I'm only giving you this information because you're using that as the wrong yardstick. Now let's go to your second question. Ask it again. This is the one you guys need to nail. What was your second question?
So the second question is, would like to know how many of the homes that you sold in your listings have sold for at 100% or more?
Okay, so I will ask that. I'll say 0.
0?
Yeah. So what does that mean to you?
That means, it's not good.
But why would you ask that question?
No, wait. No, I'm playing chess with him now. What if I said 100%?
That would be nice.
Again, you're going down the wrong road. Because the only way an agent can sell all of their listings at 100% of asking price is to list them less than they're worth. So my question is, do you want an agent that lists and sells your home less than it's worth, or we attempt to pull a buyer to us, and if we can't, we can kind of gently parachute into the top market value range? Does anybody have any questions about that?
And then that was so good. I got this objection and I end up BSing, and obviously I didn't get the job, but that was so helpful.
So how did that land on you guys? I mean, sometimes just my technique, if they want to listen to me, I'm going to take myself out of the running because I don't want them to think I'm trying to sell them. I'm going to coach them on how on the errors in the yardstick, because those questions don't determine that should be the agent. So let's go to the second one about the listing price. Would anybody else come up with that? Would you come up with that if you had a conversation? How about time on the market? Agents, I see this all the time. My sales price to list price is 101.
What?
And the average is 94. What does that mean?
So you could have underpriced the home or priced the home below market value.
Yep. So you can use that if you want Hey, I sell my homes at 98% sales price to list price, and the market average is 96. So you're already gaining 2 points with me. I've used it before, but now that I got into the science of this, particularly in all the work that I did to write the book, that's not necessarily the case. I'm not saying don't use it. But if you're selling $100 bill for $99 or asking $99 for it, I'm sorry, if you list it at 99, you sell it for $100. Well, I sell my homes for more than I list them for, but are you selling them more than they're worth? That's the question. So I know we're at the top of the hour. Tell me what you're hearing on this. These are the concepts that I want you to understand that I don't think anybody else is really teaching.
That's so amazing. That was so amazing, Danny. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate all your analogies, you know.
Where can we get your books?
They're not out yet. Did you guys register for his slides?
You know, I've
Um,
already.
Yes, I
No,
did.
how do I register for his slides?
Look in the chat and
Send a link
there's
in
a
the
link.
chat.
I was asking, yeah. Oh, I
And
see.
we're thanking Maria for that. She prepared a QR code and I just extracted the link.
Wait, Denny, can you do that example with the days on market, similar to what you were saying about sale to list to sale price? How would you handle that if someone's, you know, the longer you're on the market, the less?
All right, so agents, I mean, here's a cliche that there's certain things I don't like to hear because I don't like, we sell it for the most money, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassles. No, you're gonna do burpees if you say that on my master channel. I don't like that. Why? Well, the seller may not want to sell in the shortest amount of time. I think the definition of a great listing agent is an agent that can deliver the maximum amount of seller's equity in the time the seller has available. Now that you have to take the market into consideration. So let's go to the specifics of the days on the market.
Will you repeat that, please? Maximum amount of equity and the.
You give the seller the maximum amount of equity on their property in the time the seller has available.
I like.
Now, in a falling market, that should be faster. In an upward moving market, guys, I mean, when we had this COVID market and Florida's been going up for 10 or 12 years. I mean, there's other considerations, but if they can sell it for more tomorrow, what's the hurry? So days on the market.
Love it. Yep.
Yes. So if you say, well, you know, the normals, no, all right, let me just say this. Let me ask the question. So don't hang up. I want you to understand this. Days on the market, time on the market. I think I even put it in this little thing here. Let's see. Yeah, longer time on the market. So our days on the market's up 20% year over year. What does that mean?
It's taking longer to sell the property, or properties are not selling that fast.
Yes, but tell me more. Well, let's get to the center of the onion.
So
The condition of the properties might be poor. Buyers want different types of properties that are out there.
buyers have more choices rather than just having one listing in the area. There are more homes in that same area.
They're not priced right.
Okay.
From the beginning, you know, initially, and that's why they're sitting on the market longer.
The market isn't responding. The market isn't prepared to pay that.
Well, okay. Who said it wasn't priced right? Who was that? I couldn't find you.
That was me, Debbie.
Debbie, you're spot on. The time on the market is a function of how the buyers perceive the value, the list price. Like in COVID, they were going like that. And because they know that if the buyer didn't act, it would be more tomorrow. So the time it does not take more time necessarily to sell a house. It takes time for the seller to get into reality, because they're going to go and maybe get bad advice from their agent. They're going to list too high. And then they have to get seasoned in the market. And if you already know the three outcomes, and the outcome 1 or 2, you'll notice in your market you have more price changes, right?
Yep.
It's because the market time is taking longer because sellers are listing at the wrong number. If
and then they keep
were
reducing the
with
price.
market, the homes would sell just as fast. Because remember this, write this down, and Louise, maybe you can put it in the chat, because one of the most powerful axioms out there is this: there's no such thing as a shortage of buyers in any market. We are in a buyer's market, but we don't have a shortage of buyers. We have a shortage of realistic sellers.
I agree 100%.
That is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, if I give you any more information, you won't buy my book.
Buying the book and we're paying
That's
extra
the
for the
hardest.
signed copy, the autographed version.
It's the hardest thing to deal with on a listing appointment is unrealistic sellers.
If you can see behind me, I put these slides in here and I didn't use them, but you're on for a couple more minutes. This is one of the things I'm going to show the audience, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is months of inventory. Gary Keller's book in Shift, he says anything less than 5 months is a seller's market. So below the red line, you can see 2019, 20, 21, almost no inventory, right? It's definitely starting to grow. Anything over 7 months is buyer's market. So you can see our inventory is growing. We're now moving into buyer market territory. Why? Because of the months of inventory. When you look at the homes right here, you can see that we started basically right there, Q4 of 2020. Yeah, well, that one was there. We actually started Q3 of 2023, and these are points of information you can use to show sellers that, hey, look, inventory is growing. So here's my advice, and I'll close with this. I'm practicing my speech, really. My advice to sellers in Florida is this: if you don't have to sell, don't. If you're selling and buying in the same market, it's a push. You're going to sell low, buy low. If you're on the market, if you have to sell in this market, be first. Don't wait. Because we're in a slinky market right now. The slinky is going down the steps, and the only way sellers win is they have to get ahead of the slinky. That means aggressive repositioning or wait for it to hit bottom. Now, there's a conversation that we can have too, and maybe we'll do it next week, on how do we handle buyers? Buyers are now sitting on their hands. They're enjoying the show. Buyers can make the mistake too, because they have to decide while they're watching that slinky go down. They know that every day they wake up, the house they could buy is less. Well, here's what you have to remember to let the buyers know. You want to buy it one day too soon or one day too late, because as soon as that slinky slows or starts to hit bottom, what happens to the seller's mindset? Their negotiation strengths go away. I've said this before. The best time to buy is when sellers fear tomorrow is worse than today. That's when the buyer has the advantage. Yes, they could wait maybe another week and it'd be less, or a month, it can be less, or a year, it can be less, but they may wait one day too long. There you have it, guys. Sorry to keep you, charge me time and a half. Louise, thanks so much for your help in the control tower. Love you, guys. See ya.
Thank you, Danny.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.